Alright boys, welcome back to another installment of myfi tells you what to get before Beyond Light, because there is nothing in the game to do or talk about currently besides, well, prepping for Beyond Light. I have already covered the top 5 must-have exotics, top 5 must-have god rolls, and the top 5 must-have primary weapons you need for Beyond Light. So today I, Papa myfi, am going to be telling you all the top 5 must-have mods that you need to get before going into Beyond Light. But plugs must be plugs. So if you are new, and only if you enjoy the videos, then you know where that sub button is. Also, links to my Twitch, Twitter, and my new Instagram can be found in the description. So if you want to do me a solid and drop your boy a follow, then I'd highly appreciate it. Okay, plugs done, let's get into the list. So up front, I want to go ahead and say that all of these mods are going to be viable with current armor that you might be taking into Beyond Light and new armor that will drop from Beyond Light. Also, and this is a big one, all of these mods will work with exotic armor. Yes, you heard that right. Bungie has confirmed that starting in Beyond Light, exotic armor will have special mod slots, and all the mods I'm about to mention will work in those mod slots. And finally, this list is in no particular order. So coming in at number 5, we have Lucent Blade. I wanted to start with this mod because it is the most recently released mod being released this season. This mod is also the only mod on this list that isn't acquired via Banshee. Lucent Blade is acquired from the Drifters Recaster thingy, which is on a daily rotation, and when it is available, it will cost you 3 mod components. It is an arc mod, so that means it can only be applied to arc affinity armor. When you apply this mod and you become charged with light, and once you deal damage with a sword, you will then deal bonus sword damage for the next 5 seconds. This damage bonus will consume one of your stacks of charged with light. Now this mod has a secondary perk which is activated by applying another arc mod to the same piece of armor. The secondary mod increases the charge rate of your sword. As we all know, swords have become part of the meta these past few seasons, especially with the release of Falling Guillotine this season. If the boss slash mini boss can be sworded, then more than likely that's what players will use for damage. Then when you throw Lucent Blade into the mix, which applies a 30% damage buff and an increased charge rate to your heavy attack thanks to the secondary perk, well, it starts to become obvious just how busted Lucent Blade is and why it is a must-have mod. Now coming in at number 4, we have Charged Up. This is a pretty simple mod, so I'll keep this short. This mod is a solar mod, meaning it can only be applied to solar affinity armor. It is acquired via Banshee for 10 mod components. This mod states allows for 1 additional stack of Charged with Light. This will bring the base of 2 stacks of Charged with Light up to 3 with just 1 Charged Up mod applied. Now this might not sound big, but if we look at a mod like Lucent Blade, well, now instead of having 10 seconds of 30% bonus damage, you now have 15, because Lucent Blade gives 5 seconds for every stack. So now instead of having 2 stacks for 10 seconds, now you have 3 stacks for 15 seconds, which can be the difference in one phasing a boss and having to do another entire damage phase. If you do plan on using Charged with Light builds, which you should because they're busted, then this is a must-have mod because it takes whatever Charged with Light build you have and makes it even better. Not to mention that this mod can be stacked with other copies of itself, which furthers the argument that I just made above by giving you even more stacks of Charged with Light at the same time. Making its way in at number 3, we have Warminds Protection. This mod is a void mod, meaning it can only be applied to void affinity armor. It is acquired from Banshee for 10 mod components. This mod states you take less damage from enemies that are near your Warmind cells. Now, I know you might be thinking this means you have to be running a full-on build focused around Warmind cells, but no. If you slap on the free mod, which only costs 1 energy that everyone gets, Global Reach, and you use a 7th Seraph or even better any Aikilos weapon, then anytime you get a kill with that weapon while you have Global Reach on, then you have a chance to spawn a Warmind Cell. As you might know if you've seen my past few videos, the Aikilos SMG is one of, if not the best primary weapons in the game. And one of the reasons for that is thanks to its ability to spawn Warmind Cells on enemy kills. So, to put it in perspective, let's say you're fighting a bunch of enemies and you start generating Warmind Cells thanks to your Aikilos SMG and Global Reach, and the enemies just keep coming and coming. You can just leave those Warmind Cells that you generate on the ground, and any enemy that is near it and trying to damage you will pretty much be tickling you because they can barely scratch you thanks to the damage resistance that Warmind Protection is providing you. Also, a quick note that any enemy that is affected by Warmind's Protection will be glowing orange, so you'll know exactly which enemies are doing less damage to you. All around, this mod is going to be very good, especially if you plan on using Warmind Cells to your advantage in Beyond Light. Coming in at number 2, we have Stacks on Stacks. Just like Charged Up, this one's pretty simple, so I will keep this short. This mod is a void mod, meaning it can only be applied to void affinity armor. It can be acquired from Banshee for 10 mod components. This mod states, gain an extra stack of charge with light for every stack you gain. Now, if you just use this mod by itself with a mod that charges you with light and another mod that consumes charges of light, then, it's pretty good. Because instead of having to do an action that charges you with light twice, you now only have to do it once thanks to the extra stack you will gain. But where this mod really shines is when paired with the previous mod on this list, Charged Up. When running multiple stacks of Charged Up with stacks on stacks, then with, let's say, a mod like Charged with Light, which charges you with light whenever you pick up an orb of light, well, now you only have to pick up 2 orbs of light and you will be at charge with light times 4 instead of times 2. Being able to quickly charge yourself with light can be a big help, especially if you're running mods like Lucent Blade, High Energy Fire, or even Protective Light. Stacks on Stacks might not be a mod that increases damage or protects you from damage, but it is a mod that will further increase any charge with light build you have. In my eyes, it is a great foundational mod that everyone that likes to make crazy builds should definitely have for Beyond Light. Now finally, at number 1, we have a mod that I haven't taken off in probably 3+ months, Protective Light. Protective Light is a void mod, meaning it can only be applied on void affinity armor. It can be acquired from Banshee for 10 mod components. Protective Light states that you gain significant damage resistance against combatants when your shields are destroyed. This effect consumes all stacks of charge with light. The more stacks you have at the time of your shields being destroyed, the longer the damage resistance lasts. This mod also adds a -10 strength penalty, which, unless you are running a build that requires tons of strength, then this shouldn't really matter. I honestly can't tell you how many times Protective Light has saved my ass. I used it for my solo Flawless Prophecy, my Petra's Run Last Wish, my entire clan ran it doing our Flawless Crown of Sorrow. I could keep going, but you probably get my point. You can be low health and then your shields get destroyed, instantly activating Protective Light, which gives you enough damage resistance to keep you alive and allow you to get to cover to start regenning your health. I can almost guarantee you are going to find every person participating in the day 1 raid race using this in Beyond Light. It's such a simple mod that does so much for you. I'm gonna go ahead and say that if you don't get any other mod on this list, but you get this one mod, then you're good. This mod is an absolute lifesaver. It keeps you alive and you 100% need this. And there we go. If you are missing any of these mods and you want to be notified whenever either Banshee or the Drifters Recaster has them, then I highly recommend you join my Discord, where we have special bots set up that will notify you when those certain mods are being sold, so you can hop on and get them. Link to my Discord in the description. But now I need something from you. Yes, you. I need you to let me know in the comment section if you have all the mods I mentioned in this video. If not, which ones are you missing? And also, what is your opinion on my list? Is there anything you would change? If so, then let me know, as sometimes I overlook something until you guys bring it to my attention. With all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to drop a like, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.